Hi everyone, I'm Maja, the director of Turnabout, a slightly abridged Ace Attorney musical, as well as playing Phoenix in the production. I was able to put this show on as my senior project, and as part of that, I need to give a presentation on how I made this project happen. I figured that I would share with you guys the video of the presentation as a kind of behind the scenes little insight of our project, and I hope you guys enjoy.
The great Joel Williams once wrote, "The Phoenix Wright musical. It eats your life, devours your soul." So now you're probably asking yourself, not only who is Joel Williams, for the record, one of the original creators of Turnabout musical, but many of you probably don't even know who Phoenix Wright is. And what's this about a musical? Well, settle in, my friends, as I can say from personal experience, that quote is very true. I'm about to take you through a journey of video games, musical theater, and video games and musical theater nerds on the great tale of Turnabout, an Ace Attorney musical. Or rather, Turnabout, a slightly abridged Ace Attorney musical. So, what is Ace Attorney? Many people in this room, I forced into this fandom, but a lot of people probably have no clue what I am talking about. So, Ace Attorney is a game created by Capcom way back in 2001. So the game itself isn't anything particular special at first glance. It's a visual novel where you play as rookie defense attorney Phoenix Wright, doing everything you can to defend your clients in a corrupt legal system.
What systems is this on?
This is on everything. It is on, it originally came out on the Game Boy Advance. In Japan, it came out first in the US on the Nintendo DS. Now you can play it on Nintendo Switch, you can play it on Xbox, you can play it on PlayStation, you can play it on Steam, you can play it on your phone. You can play it everywhere. Would recommend. When it goes on sale, it's like $10 for the first 3 games. It's a very good deal. Recommend. Yeah, so it pioneered the courtroom drama genre of video games, but still, you might be asking yourself, why should I care about a 23-year-old video game? And the reason is the story and its characters. So as a quick rundown, here's your need-to-know info about the cast of this game. So of course, you have your main character, the man himself, Phoenix Wright. He's brand new to the law and ready to bluff his way through everything. His mentor, Mia Fey, an experienced lawyer always ready to help Phoenix turn the trial around. Her younger sister, Maya Fey, a spirit medium in training, and Phoenix's assistant and intimidating rival, Miles Edgeworth, the demon prosecutor.
Did you purposefully coordinate your outfit?
Yes. Yes. They went, be fancy, and I went, well, guess what I've been wearing for the past 2 weeks to school every day.
Did you not? Yeah, I didn't pull that.
Yes, Phoenix Wright. People in the office were like, you're going to senior project? I'm like, yes, I am. You follow these characters and a series of goofy friends and foes, assailants and allies as you work through investigations and court trials, all in the efforts of finding the true culprit and getting a not guilty verdict. So now that you know what Ace Attorney is, what is Turnabout musical? So way back in 2007, before most of you in this room were born, a musical adaptation of this game was pitched on the Court Records Forum. And for those who don't know, forums were the place to talk about other people with your obscure interests before things like Discord existed. I won't make you sit through the entire Turnabout musical history right now, but if you're interested in a more than the upcoming slightly abridged version, you can watch this video by Maxwell Desibus that goes into the full history as of 2019. Great video. I definitely will not be referencing it this entire time. So Turnabout musical was originally going to be about a 4.5-hour animated video with dozens and dozens of people contributing from all over the world. After a while, in like the late 2000s, it kind of died down, but in 2016, the first ever live production of this show was performed in North Carolina, and this is Turnabout Musical Live. It was about 3.5 hours long, and it covered cases 1, 2, and 4 from the original game, and it re-sparked a lot of interest in this project that had died down over the years. The next year, Maxwell Desibus, who had been involved with the project since 2010, played Larry Butts in Turnabout Musical Live, and has been a huge part of the project ever since, but in his own high school production of the show, a staged reading of Act 1, Turnabout Sisters. The project continued to gain traction, and in 2021, a 2-hour and 15-minute production of the show was performed for the 2021 Minnesota Fringe Festival by Albino Scroll Productions Turnabout Musical Live at the Phoenix Theater. It received the highest critical acclaim of the entire festival, and 2 years later, the same group performed The Missing Case from past live shows, Turnabout Samurai, the third case of the game. And look at that, after all this time, people are getting better at making this show shorter, from about 5 hours to like 3.5, it's like a bit over 2. What a performable lane. So in 2022 and 2023, Acts 1 and 2 of Turnabout, an Ace Attorney musical, were released, a reimagining of Turnabout musical, more well adapted for a standalone stage show, and it was released as an audio drama. It went back to the 3.5-hour length, and it was fully animated in Objection.lol. Many of the original show's creators came back together to work on it, and it was many people's first introductions to Turnabout musical.
For someone that's not well versed in theater, what is like the appropriate length for a
Definitely not 3 hours.
Not-
Nowhere near 3 hours.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's
I think
really
usually
long.
the max length that you can go with is like 2.5, 245. 245 is like, it's long, but it's like a manageable show length.
Two, 2.5,
Yeah,
2.45,
2.5
somewhere
usually.
in that
It's
that
for the
range.
record, like we tried to get our HGC musicals under 2 hours, and I went, so we're not doing that. But at this point, when Turnabout Musical came out, this is where I come in. So to set the scene, it's about 8:30 p.m. 2 nights before I'm supposed to go compete at a Kurtamen competition. I'm studying where, out of nowhere, my friend sends me this message. It's just a link to the YouTube channel. This is amazing, my dude. So I had seen Turnabout Musical before. I had clicked on the Turnabout and Ace Attorney Musical channel, which for the rest of this presentation I will be calling TAM, because I don't want you guys to hear me saying that a bajillion times. So it's TAM, that's the abbreviation. And I got really confused with Turnabout Musical Live versus TAM, the original project versus the remake. At the time I was still playing through the main trilogy, and I was deathly afraid of spoilers, so I didn't watch it. I saved it to my Ace Attorney videos to watch later playlist, and thought I'd come back to it at some point in the future.
I love that you had a playlist of that.
It's like 100 videos long. It's really long. So when I was sent the link, I went full in. This is my text message. I don't write text messages and lists unless I am internally panicking because I am so excited. So this is my bullet-pointed list of all the things of me freaking out. So I immediately went full in. I found all of the scripts and sheet music. I found out that they want people to perform this show, and I was legitimately freaking out. A quote from me the night that I discovered the show, like when I just like write down the thoughts to make sure my brain makes sense. I went, my friend sent me this link to Turnabout Musical, which I had seen before but never actually listened to, and there's no punctuation in this entire thing. And I was literally there shaking, listening to it and reading the script, and there's all these characters that are niche little references, and they just put up the script, so now I really just want to perform it. Like, it would be awesome. Do I have enough friends / theater kids? No. Would it still be fun to try? Yes. So I then proceeded to be actually obsessed with the show. These are all text messages from the past about year and a half, where I was bringing it up literally every single place that I could. I was making all of my friends listen to the show. Just slowly growing more and more attached. I joined the Discord server and was in fact way too scared to talk with anyone on it, but I enjoyed lurking and listening in on what was happening there. For those who haven't seen Max's history video, there's a part where he comments on the Facebook post, because that's where information was shared at the time, about Turnabout Musical Live, saying that he wished he could be in the show, but there was no way that 16-year-old me was going to be able to fly out to North Carolina and be in this obscure internet musical with people that I'd never met. I then referenced that video in a text to my friend saying, I want to be in Turnabout Musical so badly, but I'm sadly a 16-year-old in Pennsylvania after a lot of the hype that for this series that existed in the 2010s has died out. I think it's safe to say that both of us were wrong when we made these statements. So as the months went on, I actually started working on this. I ran into friends who I dragged into the fandom, starting everything with, I don't know if this is actually going to happen, and there's no way anyone would let me do this. So I made a Google folder titled TAM, but my version that'll probably never happen, lol. That is, everything just keeps going in that folder. There's now a folder that is Turnabout Musical that's happening, and now the folder within the folder is Turnabout Musical, but my version that happened. It's very exciting. We went full circle. And I then stayed up to almost midnight the day that I made this folder, making my scheming doc, a brief plan / ideas of how to make this work, where I wrote down everything that I thought I would need to do to make this show happen. Yes.
At this point, did you think that this would be a senior project then, or you just were going to do it anyway?
I thought that senior project would be the only way I would be able to make this happen. I thought that there was no way in hell that admin would let me put this on as a senior project, because this is absolutely insane. Who would let me do this? But that was like the main original goal. It was like, you know what? That I have, I'm a senior, you know what they're gonna do? Like, there's only so much that they can tell me no.
So did you hit your bell or did you?
Exactly. Yeah, so when all the seniors in my AP Lit class left last year, there were 2 of us left. So my teacher had us pitch an independent project. So I, of course, asked the 6 most dangerous words, have you heard of Turnabout Musical? For some reason, she let me spend the last month of school watching through all the past live shows and working on taking the 3.5-hour TAM script and shortening it to about 2 hours and 45 minutes. At that point, I started to convince the rest of my friends to do the show, and I would not take no from answer. These are more texts of me going, guys, it's happening, I swear. We're gonna make it happen no matter what. So skipping forward to this past February and March, I finally got permission from to put on the show from administration. I'm actually freaking out. I literally 5 minutes after I had this meeting where they went, yes. I went to the Turnabout Musical Discord server, and this is what I wrote because I was actually panicking. I referenced my amazing Google folder in that thing, and like people, there's reactions. People are being excited about it, and then actually, the craziest thing happens. The people who wrote the show, the people who have been in past productions, started talking about how they would love to come see it live. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, that would be insane. There's no pressure. Like, I would love for you to come.
Quiz. Who is she talking about right now? She's talking about the original creators of this show. Saw on Discord her talking about this show and how they wanted to come from their corners of the world to see the show.
So did they come?
So, as we're going through, I have more slides dedicated specifically to this. Don't even worry.
I just want to make sure we were with her because the drama's high.
There's a lot going on right now.
The drama's just gonna get high.
Yeah, don't even worry. These are the people that I've like looked up to and like idolized for the past like 2 years ever since I created the show, and they are talking about coming to see, just our little high school production that I have been trying to put together, and that's actually insane. So we start making the show happen. I bring my amazing co-worker, co-director, senior project mentor, and legal adult sponsor, Elyse, onto this project. We had a meeting. It lasted like 4 hours where we went through everything. It was crazy. And then after that, we start casting. We start rehearsals. And, and we have all these great pictures. Half of them are in this room. Thank you for letting us use the room. Otherwise, this wouldn't have been able to happen, and I really appreciate
How
it.
did you know each other?
We met at work.
Yeah, we worked at the library
and we
together.
pretty much, I think as soon as we met, just found out that we were nerds about a lot of the same things, namely like How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Go to the library.
And
Yes.
that's why we're friends.
I proceeded to rant about Ace Attorney constantly, and then drag you into this.
That's what a lot of our shifts looked like, is
Yeah.
shelving books and talking about things we love. This is the only reason I know about Ace Attorney, is you.
Yeah, so we do our amazing rehearsals.
And I'm all the better for it.
In backstage, it's always chaos. I have a clip of one of our amazing backstage rehearsals. We of course have our people singing their actual songs, and then we have people drawing their characters on the backboard. Wow, so good, like being in charge of roles. And then we go over to Rowan, drawing Italian brain rot on the wall. Very, very good artist. That's most of our rehearsals.
They're still up there, by the way.
Oh no,
I
the
have
Italian
no
brain rot
clue.
is gone.
So, if you want to see more of chaos like this,
My
at
judge is
some
still
point,
there.
vaguely soon, I am going to edit a behind-the-scenes documentary-esque video, because we all had a lot of fun. And all of those drawings on the backboard over there, that may or may not be our fault.
They have to come down and say, while I have you all here to make you erase them.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So yeah, we'll get back to my production, Turnabout, a slightly abridged Ace Attorney musical, or to Sam, in a moment. But I'd first like to talk about the official reason that I'm giving this presentation. Well, my senior project may have just been an excuse for me to put on a production of TAM. It also gave me a chance to focus on how theater can amplify the story of a video game. So these are all comments from the Turnabout in Ace Attorney musical, the audio drama that I adapted my script from's YouTube video, and I'm not going to make you read through all of them, but the main gist of it is that the musical allows people to go into the emotion and humanity of all these characters that you're not able to in the video game. There's people are saying that y'all did a better job of making me care about Maja in 10 minutes than the whole first 2 games. It's something that you're able to appeal to the humanity of these characters, and it's really cool. So, you can play the first Ace Attorney game, and you can be fully emotionally invested in all the characters. That's why, when I found Turnabout Musical, I was so excited. The characters feel so real, and they were all clearly crafted with love and care. The problem is, Ace Attorney was made in 2001, and there were major technological limitations of video games at the time. Ace Attorney literally did everything that it could to tell the story the way it deserves to be shown, but there's only so much you can add. Well, these are all sprites of Edgeworth. Make it look like he has a whole wide range of emotions. That's it for the entire game. You get these couple sprites, and that's how you're going to tell this entire story.
These couple what?
Sprites.
Sprites, that's what they're called.
So sprites are basically just the little animations from the game. These are all different sprites.
Did y'all do that video game that we all played in elementary school, Sprite.com?
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Scratch?
Yeah, Scratch.
No, they.
No.
And the thing, the block you did to make the character was called a sprite.
Yeah, that's sprites. Yeah, it's just the little character rigs.
Connections being made.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills. Keep going.
Yeah, so you'll notice here too, there's not a single sprite of Edgeworth just smiling normally.
No.
These characters, they have to almost be their archetype in the game. Edgeworth, he's the demon prosecutor, he's all dramatic and stuff. So the closest you get to smiling is him being smug in the corner. You don't get to have that emotion. And that is where live theater comes in. You have actors, you have people who are constantly acting the way that their characters should be, and you don't have to work off of the 7 sprites that the video game has. Conversations, dialogue, even silence becomes so much more meaningful. You can see Edgeworth flinch every time Von Karma speaks. You can see Phoenix slowly come to the case-changing realization, and you can feel exactly what they're feeling. There's so much more depth to everyone. It elevates the storytelling. It makes you feel more connected, and that's really cool. Start since you do a really good facial expressions.
Also, is this what you look like in like I don't know, the class that you hate the most?
Very good expressions. Yeah, and that's what's really cool about this show. If you couldn't tell from these photos, like, our show happened. It actually happened. Our first day of rehearsal, we started teaching the opening song of the show, August Day, and here's a clip showing just how far we've come.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Love August Day. One of my.
Blend. Rowan decided not to blend.
We're just vibing. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs in the show. That's one of the first songs that I heard, and a lot of the past productions that have tried to cut the show down shorter don't get to have that full impact. But that song means so much to me, and just going from the first day of rehearsal where I'm teaching everyone this song and then going to our final day of the show was very exciting.
Just co-director's note, I was actively crying or about to cry during August Day. I mean, all of the August days, but specifically when it was on stage, and everybody backstage had to make me button it up because I had to run out on stage and be a mad goof. So you succeeded at
We're crying backstage.
there was a lot of emotion.
Were you acting as a stage manager, or were you actually acting the show?
So fun fact, I decided to make life as difficult for myself as humanly possible. So not only did I shorten the show, direct the show, make most of the props and costumes, I also decided that I would play Phoenix right, so that I didn't have to put that onto someone else who actually had to go to school for the next 2 months. Because the nice thing about senior project is that after AP exams, I was just kind of vibing, like, okay, great, I can just lock in and learn the entire 2-hour, 45-minute show. So yeah, I made decisions. I think it turned out pretty well in the end. So yeah, this is the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. Cannot say that enough. 12 of the past cast and crew of this show, all the way from the original creators of the show to the cast from the newest productions, traveled to Pennsylvania just to see our show. I got to meet them all. There's some photos. I got to meet them all. I made them all different attorneys' badges that say to Sam on them, and just simply talk to them. This is the big photo of our whole casting crew, along with all the casting crew of the people that came.
Wait a minute, let's applause for how excited we are that the original cast and crew came.
It's actually insane.
What's the farthest someone came from?
Someone flew in from Scotland
Yes.
to see our show.
I was about to point that out.
Yeah,
and say,
that's the next thing in my notes, guys. People were literally flying in. I know people, I think, from Florida, North Carolina. Someone flew in from Scotland. They show up. A couple of them showed up to our dress rehearsal the day before, too. I think mainly to make me not panic the first time that I saw them all. Which did, in fact, happen because these, next part of my presentation, they're actually the nicest and most welcoming people that I've ever met. Every single one of them who came in person to see the show, watched the live stream, or even just commented from the Discord server, their support was incredible. Their support literally means the world to me. I'm glad that I could attempt to do justice to the show that they've been working on for so long.
Imagine us, when we're graduated and have jobs and everything, like we are already, but anyway, imagine doing that for somebody. Imagine being in another country and finding out that some high school kid was putting on a show and then going there and watching it. That is a beautiful community.
This fandom is literally like the best community I've ever been a part of. I found out about it like a year and a half ago, 2 years, and like immediately as soon as I joined the Discord server, I was like, oh my god, welcome! Thanks so much, like we have so much, like you're welcome to like click around and figure everything out. Literally the kindest people that I've ever met and the most welcoming, because everyone here realizes, you know, if you know the show, this is a colossal waste of time. This is a bunch of people for the past 17 years spending all of their free time working on just a goofy lawyer musical. And I think that's really cool, and that's why there's this kind of community within this project. So now, if you've watched Max's video on the history of Turnabout musicals, that I have been referencing this entire time, because it's really good, guys. That's the video that kind of sold me onto this thing. I was supposed to put it on the background and study, then I sat watching it for the full 12 minutes straight, like, obsessed. So you'll know about his Ace Attorney art book, which is right there. Sorry for the terrible screenshot. He's been collecting signatures from every person who's been a part of Turnabout Musical, and our whole cast and crew got to sign it.
In history.
So my name is there on the page with all the phoenixes. I didn't want to put everyone else's there because I haven't like gotten their permission, but like I'm actually not okay. Like he pulls this out, and I'm here sobbing actually. Like this is like I've been here as soon as I knew about this project. I've been hearing about like this book and all the things that he did, and I've. Like, my name's in there, guys, that's crazy. And everyone else who was in our cast and crew got to sign it on, like, the page of the character that they played. And it's so cool. And then also over there, all the people, like, came to my house for our cast party, which was insane. And I got to take a picture with all the past phoenixes that were there. And I'm here trying, they have all the good nerdy t-shirts. I need to own the other two, I own that one. But not only that, some of the pictures that I was sent that immediately made me start crying was the rest of our cast also got to take pictures with the people who have played them in the past.
That's
so
oh my gosh.
And I'm sent these and I instantly start like sobbing after our show because it's these people that are major figures in this space, that they've been a part of this community for like decades, and they came here just to see our like goofy little show that we threw together in like 6 weeks. And they were so kind, and they like taking pictures. Like all the Mias that came got like to take pictures with everyone. It was.
I forget who was saying it, but someone was saying like you didn't have like a music director or something. They're like, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off without a music director.
I begged by hand, please. It's so good. I really appreciate it. Literally, we could not have pulled this show together without every single person who was a part of it, because it was a relatively like small cast and crew. There were like I think about 20 of us total between everything. And if you've ever seen our HCC shows, there's like dozens and dozens of people from all sides. And I cannot thank our cast and crew enough for everything that they do, because
Good job, Good job.
immediately from like the first messages that I sent on the Discord server in my introduction was basically like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I really want to make a show happen. Haha, well, it's never gonna happen, but that would be great. I could not have done it without all of the amazing people who were a part of our show, and I really appreciate them all.
So you have 6 minutes, but if you want
I have like
anybody
2
to
slides
ask a
left.
question, okay.
I'm basically done trust.
And
I made it to the end. So, in our series of all the different past Turnabout musical shows, I add to the court record Turnabout, a slightly abridged Ace Attorney musical. This is my contribution to the Turnabout musical legacy, and I hope it will not be the end. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for making this happen and literally making history.
I'm still processing everything a full week later.
What was the biggest crisis you had?
So, fun fact, it's Wednesday before the show, approximately 47 hours before...
46 and a half.
46
and a half.
We need to go on stage and do the show, and I get a phone call from Tenzin and an email from one of our cast members saying that they unfortunately had to drop out of the show 47 hours before the show starts, 46 and a half. So we're all there panicking, and so I call Elyse at work, and Elyse takes up the amazing role of Larry Butts with 46 hours of notice. Does literally the most amazing performance I've seen. I watch it back and I laugh every time. It's so good. And yeah, that was a very scary a couple days, but I think that honestly, no one could have done it better than you could have.
I was also trying to find the Edgeworth costume.
Oh yeah, trying to find the Edgeworth costume that Big Ted
trying to
did.
finish costumes like 3 days before the
Yeah.
show, and
That one day that we had off from school, we were in fact finishing all of the costumes. Frantically going on Facebook and saying, "Hey, does anyone have like a long red suit jacket, please? We really need one." They found one, and it
And it
worked.
fit him
it was
perfectly.
perfect.
Oh my
It was
God.
incredible.
Guys, they only gave us 3 days on the stage.
Yeah, and one of those days was the day of the show. We did not get to go on stage until the Wednesday before the show. Fun fact, we never ran the whole show on stage. There were scenes at the end of the show that were never run on stage before night of.
For non-theater people, which is me,
Yeah.
how many days do you normally get?
Like a month.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like a month.
We had 2 months total.
Also,
Yeah.
we had to have our scripts on.
Yeah.
It
We
worked.
had approximately 6 weeks to throw this show together, and it is a 2-hour and 45-minute show. So, yeah, you guys did incredibly well.
For you
Yeah.
guys,
Oh, no.
what will you take away from this experience that was inspiring or moving? You.
I mean, I will be making my senior project another production next
Yay!
year. Custom made from the ground.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
there's-
hoping somebody would
You're
say that.
creating.
Yeah,
And
we're,
I'm so ready, don't even understand. I'm trying to
Wait.
figure out what to do with my life after Sam has finished.
Listen, there's a place for you in it.
Yeah.
there really
Yeah,
is,
you are
isn't
the Phoenix
This
Rotate.
could
You
be
are-
the
you are the
beginning of a
Phoenix
tradition that just keeps going.
I love.
Growing place. All right, who else would you take away that was inspiring or moving?
I guess with such a limited amount of time, the final product created through all of that stress, a lot of stress, all of
So much
the
stress.
hard work that everyone else and like it wasn't just I put in all of this work and then I got this outcome. It was all of us putting in all of this work to make this almost impossible show really good. It was turned out better than I expected it to be. If we're being perfectly honest, like
Oh,
not
same.
to
Nothing
be
but
a downer, but
If you told me about a day before the show that it would go that well, I would not have believed you, but I am so glad that it did. Like, we pulled it all together at
I
the
think
last
we
moment.
genuinely all just got possessed by our characters at the last moment. Like they descended from above and said, "Hey, we know you're worried. We'll take it from here."
Yeah.
Foolish, foolish fool.